guys, Katy Huller here with Kids Can Read and Write. Let's talk about what the PR blend says, okay? It's really important to know what blends are saying, and a lot of kids struggle to put blends together. So let's talk about what is a blend. So we call it a blend when you make the sound, the original sound that the letter makes, and you don't change it, you just blend it with the next sound, okay? So like when you have two consonants together before a vowel, that's called either a beginning blend or it might be a digraph or trick of some sort, but typically the blend is when you still hear the pa and you still hear the ra, you're just putting them together, you're blending them together. I kind of like the thought of calling it a braid instead of a blend. Why would I want to call it a braid? A braided letter, because you're kind of braiding them together. You're keeping this sound, and you're kind of twisting them together like you would do with a blend, with a braid. So when I call it, a blend, think of it like a braid. You're not changing these sounds. Now the trouble is, a lot of people are teaching that R says R does not say ER says IR says and UR says But you don't want to teach your kids that R says And the reason why is because when I go to spell a word like perch, like a bird might land on a perch, if I think R says I go If I think R is I'm going to write that, perch. And then if I know my ch, I would end up spelling perch like that because I think the R says but it doesn't. So you don't want to teach your kids that R says Let's say I want to write purse and I'm sounding it out, and I think R says purse. I might spell it like that. You need to know the tricks, but you also need to make sure you're making the right sounds for the regular letters too. So we're going to talk about this PR blend. Remember, we could call it a PR braid if you want, because nothing's majorly changing. We're just twisting them together, okay? So we have pa and we have a ra. Now what are they going to say when they're together? We don't want a big pa and a big ra. We want to braid them together, twist them together. We want pra. Do you see how pra? They're going to come right together. Pa, ra, pra. Now, I'll teach kids to sound them out. Pa, ra, pra. Like that. And a lot of people are bothered by that sound that I put at the end called the schwa. But I find a lot of my kids with auditory processing issues just don't do well when I cut the sounds very short. They need to hear it. And I get a lot of kids who are really struggling in school. So whatever's going on in the classroom isn't working, whatever's going on at home isn't working. When they come see me, a lot of the kids cannot blend these together yet. And then after I teach them the pa, ra, pra, they do it very easily. So I don't worry about that schwa sound. You've got to shorten it at some point. But if you have kids who are struggling to hear things clearly, sometimes that helps them actually hear what you're doing. Pa, ra, pra. That's what you want your PR to be saying. Pra. Not pa, per. It's not a per-s. It's a press, where you press down on something. Okay, we don't want an in there. We don't want per-s, we want press, like that. Okay, you press on something, you push on it, you press it. Or the press, like the news, right? They're not the per-s, they're press. All right, what about this one? So if we blend these together, we make this sound, we blend it together. Pa, ra, pra, okay? Pra, that's an ice cream falling off. If your kids are struggling with E's and I's, remember, this is Granny, This is the ice cream falling off. Okay, icky, icky. It's gonna splat on the ground. So if they're having trouble remembering, maybe they're switching the sounds, which is super common with struggling kiddos. That goes back to that memory issue. What does that say? What does that say? They get them mixed up. They have trouble with retrieval. These are all signs of dyslexia. So you want to make sure you're really clear. Give them a way to remember it. This is Granny's hand around her ear. She can't hear very well. This is the ice cream falling off. Icky. Okay? So again, we go pra. And you want to drag this into this next sound. Don't let them stop. Keep saying this until they say this. Pra. Notice I'm not saying prin because I'm gluing this vowel onto this next sound. So we want pra in. Hear that? Drag it in. If your kids are struggling to blend sounds together, it's probably they aren't gluing the vowels onto the next letter. So you want to help them hear it. So you pra in, and you quickly add that ending, okay? Print. Like you might write in print like this, not cursive, but print. Or you might have to print a paper out, right, on your printer. So print. Help them do that. Make sure they're blending these, dragging the vowel into that next sound. They can put that together and then add that. That often helps struggling kids. Now, here's another one. So we've got that pra. Okay, remember you're twisting them together, braiding them together. Pra. They should be right next to each other. And then you might hear your kids say pra is e. Well, if they do that, they need help learning the tricks. They don't know about sleepy e. Okay, if they're saying e or e at the end here, no, you have to teach them the trick. So e's, when they're at the very end of a word, they don't say anything. They're so sleepy and tired, you don't hear them make a sound. The last thing they do is boss their closest vowel relative because they're so sleepy and grumpy. They can't keep up in the line. So they say, say your name, vowel. In this vowel, if they can get over one letter and reach it, will say its name, whatever letter it is. So we're going to read this. Pa, pra, I. That's his name. Pra, eyes. See how I'm still gluing it right onto this letter. Pra, eyes. Prize. Now I don't say anything for that E because after he bosses his vowel buddy, he's asleep. All right? And he only bosses his family buddy, his vowel buddy. He won't boss anyone else. Only vowels, and only if they can reach over one letter to reach it. Okay? Now, what happens if you get to a big word like this one? Your kids might kind of freak out. That's too big. Oh no. Especially if they're struggling to read, they might really be nervous when they see something like this. But it's really not harder. Once your kids learn to blend and drag that vowel, into that next sound, all they have to do is break the word. Usually you can break it one after the vowel. Not all the time, but it works a lot of the time. So if your kids are just learning to read big words like this, tell them find your first vowel. Remember the vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. Find your first vowel, and you want to glue it onto that next letter. So you don't want to break it here. You want to break it there. Now, yes, sometimes we have prefixes, sometimes weird things happen, but you usually can still break it one after and figure it out. The only thing you don't want to do is split up tricks like SH, CH, TH, OU, any of the weird trick combinations. And if you don't know about them, look up our Black Belt reading program, because we have put the most necessary tricks to learn in there. Okay, and we go through, I've made videos of them, I've made word lists, sentences to read, sentences to practice comprehension with, where you have to fill in a word in the sentence, with games, just words to spell, sentences to spell, everything you need to teach your kids the tricks you can find in the Black Belt reading program. And you can find that at kidscanonlineacademy.com or at kidscanreadandwrite.com. But if you see your kids are getting tricked on things like this, or you just want a way to accelerate their reading, like they just aren't being taught how to read fast enough in school, or maybe they're struggling because of dyslexia, maybe they have a memory issue, processing issue, whatever, look up the Black Belt reading program. You can go at your own pace and you can really teach them what they need to know to become successful readers and writers. So if you need more information, let me know. They end up reading small words, big words, all the words. So let's see. So once they've broken this big word up, remember, one after the vowel, break it, one after the vowel, break it, one after the vowel. We're not going to break it there because there's only one letter left, so we're just going to tag it on. But if your kids have trouble with ending blends, you could, and then you could just add it. But I think that's silly right now. So let's go through this. So here we go. We're going to do our pa, ra. Remember, braid them together or blend them together. Pra. Now, for the E, glue it onto this S. Prez. Prez. Now we go to the next chunk. Id. Id. Remember, if daddy's face is first, that's a D, or if you see the C before the line, that's a D. Prez. Id. Ent. Ent. So if your kid's having trouble, if they don't hear the word after they sound it out, tell them, what was the first chunk? Prez. Okay. What's your second chunk? Id. Good. Put first and second together. Prez, id, prez, id. And now third part. Ent. So we have prez, id, ent. Prez, id, ent. And have them say it a few times till they can hear it. Even if you're sure they hear it, wait and ask them, do you hear it? Do you know what it says? Make sure they can say president. Oh yeah, you usually see their eyes light up. Oh yeah, president. And then make sure they know what a president is, like the president of whatever country. President, president. All right, what about this one? So here, if we're intimidated by the length, we don't know the word, we're gonna break it up. Find that first vowel, go one past and break it. Find that next vowel, go one past and break it. So we're gonna break it up like this. I see one trick here. Remember, if you don't know the tricks, if your kid doesn't know the tricks, look up the Black Belt reading program. I'll put the link in the description. But this one, I always tell the kids, see, they're going round and round, back and forth. We could do this, or we could do that. They go round and round, back and forth. We could do this, or we could do that. So O and the R say or, okay? A lot of people are teaching now with the fancy rules. O-R can say also. Yes, that's true. When we slur the words together and you have that O-R at the end, a lot of times it sounds like But we don't want kids to be putting that as a common We want them to know which ones have it, of course. That comes with time. But you don't need to confuse them by saying this says or. You just want them to say or, and they'll probably hear it. So let's try it and see. So we have pa, ra, braid them together, blend them together, pra, Open wide for the O. Aw, okay. Prof, prof. Now, S, remember, glue it on. S, and then our last part, S, or, soar. Okay, so when we read that, we want prof, S, soar. Profess, professor, professor. If you have kids who are having struggles, they probably need to put two parts together first and then add the third part. This takes a little learning. So if it's a little slow in the beginning, don't worry. That's them training their brains. Be patient, be kind, be helpful. Don't laugh, don't get impatient, don't tell them, no, it should be whatever. Help them refigure it out. If they forget, just help them refigure it out. Stay calm or they won't want to work with you, okay? So just take your time. Now, if you want, you could write these words down for your kids and see if they can read them. And I'm telling you, if you see them struggle with like the E at the end of a word, if they don't know what to do with that, or maybe you see they don't know how to put blends, ending blends or beginning blends together, or maybe they just can't read bigger words yet, or maybe they didn't know the OR, right? These are all signs that your kids need more help with phonics. And that's what the Black Belt Reading Program is for. Not only does it teach phonics, but it teaches your kids how to actually read and write using the phonics. So we do a lot of real world activities as well as, words in isolation. So if you need a roadmap so that you can teach your child how to read and write in English, look up the Black Belt Reading Program. But I hope this helps you for today, guys. Remember, P and the R, they do not say per. They say pa, ra, pra, okay? Braid those letters together. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope it's a blessing to you. Good luck reading. Reading is such a fun thing to do, and it's such an important skill for kids to have and for adults to have. So if you have further questions, please drop them in the comments and I will try to answer as many as I can. Have a great day and I'll hope to see you next time.